Hey friend, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, a Juicy IPA from Founders. Mucho Lupu is a 7.1% IPA from Founders Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Two words I didn't think I'd ever hear together are juicy and founders. That's almost as foreign a concept to me as hazy and bells. I mean, I think hell might be freezing over because that's what I've got here today. Mucho Lupu. This is part of Founders Mothership series, which are taproom only releases and are ultra limited runs. But Founders describes this as, and I quote, brewed in the spirit of Juicy IPAs, Mucho Lupu features 4 kinds of American hops: Mosaic, Azacca, Simcoe, and Amarillo, dry hopped with traditional hop pellets, along with cryo powder, an innovative hop product that separates lupulin from the hop flower. This IPA is incredibly flavorful and aromatic. Wheat and oats provide a smooth backdrop to carry all those wonderful hop characteristics, end quote. Now, usually these Mothership series releases sell out pretty quickly. This one was released just a couple weeks ago, and it hasn't sold out. I just picked this up a few days ago, and they're selling for $10 a 6-pack, which, if you ask me, is a pretty good price, all things considered. Now, will it be a sign of things to come for mass-produced Founders Juicy IPA? Let's take a look at the label. We'll get this genie out of the bottle and find out for ourselves. Fun fact, lupulin is the bitter powder found under the scales of a hop cone, and it's part of what gives beer its bitterness, flavor, and aroma. So we'll take a look at the label. All these Mothership series beers are really very similar. They have the pretty much exact same label, both front and back. The neck of the bottle has Founders Brewing Company. It goes from a red to a purple gradient, and on the actual main label, it shows a picture of a UFO coming down and almost like a tractor beam kind of sucking stuff up from Founders Brewing Company from the building in Grand Rapids with some of the fermentation tanks, a lot of clouds around it. It says Mothership series. They all say Mothership series, and this one says Mucho Lupu. And then on the back, it says Founders Mothership series. You are holding in your hand an ultra-limited brew team favorite beer only found at our taproom locations. Whether it's an old standby we brought out of retirement or an experimental new style, which would be the case in this one, it's sure to go quickly. Brewed for a chosen few, and you're lucky enough to be one of them. Bottled on June 5th, 2019. Again, this is 7.1% alcohol by volume. So let me grab my IPA glass here, and we will grab our handy dandy bottle opener. This has the Founders black cap. That's what are on a lot of Founders beers. But this is all the Mothership series beers have this cap. So let's go ahead and open this, and we will take a little bit of a sniff out of the bottle here. It has a really strong scent to it, a very strong aroma. A lot of sweet citrus notes in there. Has a little bit of a dankness, a little bit of a floral scent as well that I'm picking up. It just it's really kind of bursting with a lot of scents, a lot of aroma. Let's go ahead and pour this. It comes out very light yellow out of the bottle, and on the pour itself, it's collecting very yellow in the glass. And it's not very hazy. Just looking at it, I got a really good head, about 3 fingers worth, maybe 2.5. And it is really compact bubbles on the side. Very smooth bubbles around the entire glass. Not much rockiness. The edges are a little bit, they're a little bit higher than what's actually going on in the glass. They're kind of clinging pretty well. Nice big bubble on the exit of the pour, but a lot of really nice dense and compact bubbles on the side. On the top, as you can see from the overhead, they are really tightly packed. It's not, sometimes you get them where it's tightly packed a little bit on the top, but the sides are very kind of, it's a little bit different story. This one, they're compact throughout. Let's hold it up to the light. It is a little hazy. There's a little bit of sediment in there, but I can see pretty good detail on my fingers. I can't see my nails or fingernails or anything or any kind of wrinkles on my fingers, but I can see more than a shadow. I can tell if I get it a little bit closer, I can see skin tone through this. It's got a really golden yellow, bright yellow color, a lot of nice carbonation streaming up from the bottom of the glass. And of course, the glass itself helps with that because of the nucleation on the bottom. So I am ready to put a better nose on this. Yeah, a lot of what I was getting before. It has a really kind of almost a trademark telltale New England style IPA scent to it. It is a little bit more floral than a lot of New Englands that I've had. It has a lot of bursting citrus smells, though it's very sweet on the nose. So I'm ready to dive right into this. Cheers. The mouthfeel is a little bit, honestly, it's a little bit dry. It almost has like a bit of a chalky kind of, there's like a powdery kind of like mouthfeel in there, and it's really dry on the finish, but it's bitter on the finish. So let me start from the beginning here and tell you what the tastes that I'm getting through on this are. So up front, I'm not getting from what I read on this, I thought it would be a little bit more juicy. There's not much juiciness going on with this. At the forefront, it is a little bit bright. It's got a little bit of a really kind of really slight sweetness to it, but not as much as I was expecting. It does have a little bit of a floral kind of sweetness in there, but then it is almost, that sweetness is almost immediately cut with this strong bitterness, really strong grapefruit, orange zesty kind of bitterness to it. Not much maltiness, and like I said, on that finish, there's not much of a malty flavor. That's what I should have said. But on the finish, it gets really dry. It is like really on the level of a lot of brutes. It's just got a really dry finish. Like it's almost like a mouth, like a tongue smacking the roof of your mouth kind of dryness. Like, you know, you kind of want to do that because it's just so dry. It's a little, I mean, there's a little bit of a kind of wetness going on still, but it's very, very, very dry on the finish. And like I said, the mouthfeel feels kind of like this, like chalky kind of powdery, I can't really think of another way to describe it. It just tastes it just, the mouthfeel even tastes dry, like there's sediment in there or something, but it's not really that dense. It's not really that, you know, that hazy or that thick. Mouth feels medium, borderline light. This is not what I was expecting. Reading this and reading their description, Founders' description, saying it was juicy, and I even, you know, read the full description to you guys or told you what it was, and I'm just not getting that juiciness out of it on its own. This you know, it's an IPA, right? It has those kind of floral, kind of sweet characteristics up front, and you get to that really citrusy, very hardcore grapefruit, really kind of bitter citrus flavors. That orange zest in there is in there. Citrus zest is in there as well. But when I think of a juicy IPA, again, I think I mentioned it earlier with Bell's and Official. I just kind of expect it to be a little bit, you know, out of the ordinary or a little above average. And this one's just kind of average. It reminds me, honestly, a lot of Official from Bell's. And I wasn't really blown away by that one either. That was kind of a little bit of a letdown. This one it's a little bit of a letdown to me as well. It's kind of just a average, if almost a hair under average IPA, like I guess like a little bit of a sweeter IPA, but it's not really that sweet either. You get a lot of the bitterness in it. So I would say, like, if you're more of a West Coast IPA fan and you are looking, you know, for something that's like crosses the line a little bit between West Coast and New England style, it's kind of more of a hybrid of that. Then I would say it's a New England or a juicy. It doesn't really have, it's not a juice bomb. There's not a lot of even malty qualities in there. It's just kind of got that floral sweetness, and then it just dries out immediately afterwards. I don't foresee this becoming a really, you know, like a wide release from Founders. I just think that I think they were trying to test the waters. They didn't want to go full, you know, whole hog and do a whole big release on this. I can see why it's a Mothership. It seems like it's a really experimental thing for them. Is it my favorite? No, I don't think I would buy this again. But if you're looking for something that's a New England style crossed with a West Coast, because it does have those really strong hoppy profiles in it, a lot of citrus bitterness, maybe a tiny bit of pine in there as well. You're getting a really good kind of cross between like a West Coast and a New England style. But for me, this isn't what I was looking for. I was looking for more of a juicy kind of take that Founders could give us. Founders does a lot of beer all year round, right? So I was really expecting them to kind of just blow it out of the park or just put something out there that's really super crazy and out of the ordinary with their first real Juicy IPA. Unless you know of another Juicy, you can let me know in the comments. But I have to say, I'm just a little bit let down, and this was not what I was expecting, especially from what I read on the label. All right, friends, that has been Mucho Lupu from Founders. Have you had this? What did you think? And do you think that Founders should move a Juicy IPA into full production? Do you have a favorite release from the Mothership series? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about beer. Mostly Michigan beer, but I'm going to start kind of mixing it up a little bit. But I talk about it twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for free for viewers just like you. And you might miss your next favorite if you're not subscribed and needing those notifications. Also, I want to start incorporating your questions into these episodes, so you can leave any questions you have on any kind of beer topic at the Draft Therapy hotline at 224-DRAFT-20. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by, and remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries wherever they are, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.